Welcome back. Another week of football, week 11. And now we head into playoff season, couple more weeks, and we're right there. It's been a great season, besides a couple hiccups on the way. Maybe one on the way. I don't know yet. We'll see, depending what happens Saturday. I'll recap last week very quick. Again, somehow every week we find a way to pick to just straight sweep a team and then we all just get swept. Somehow
Yep.
we all pick Tennessee. Colts win. Literally somehow. I don't know. We did it with the Packers and the Bucks. Bucks win. We did it with the Chiefs and Raiders. Raiders won. I don't know how we keep doing that almost every week. We're almost guaranteed one. Um, Bills Cardinals game. That was a heck of a game. I think everyone here could agree. That was just a heck of a game and a heck of an ending too. Um, Bills Mafia. I don't know how you guys can feel after that game because you literally let DeAndre Hopkins bag your whole secondary. But I digress. Um, Bengals Steelers ain't too much to say. Steelers 9-0. Congrats to y'all. Um, Chargers Dolphins. Tua's doing this thing, and can't believe I'm saying this. Congrats to SA for picking that upset pick for New England against Baltimore. Um, there's not too much there to say. We had a bad game, but we'll come out strong next week. But I won't recap too much on that. We'll get to what everyone thinks at the end. But first, let's get into these group of games, which arguably could be playoff making games and could honestly set up the playoffs. So the first game, we got another rematch. We got the Arizona Cardinals rolling into CenturyLink Field to the Seattle Seahawks. Thursday night football. And we all remember what happened the first time. Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, man, made a couple key bad plays. The Cardinals stole one. Cardinals stole a game. Um, but for this week, we got Seattle's favored by 3, and the over under is 57. Essay, what you think?
I think Kyler Murray's going to sweep the Seahawks today. You saw what the Bills did, completely surprising me, and I'm talking about surprising. And it wasn't only on offense where they destroyed the Seahawks, defense too. Wilson had multiple very bad turnovers, and just like how we did against the Cardinals, where each pick was just horrendous. Like, how do you make that? It was like a Nathan rolling right, you throw a dump pass all the way deep to the end zone, gets picked off in the end zone. You throw a pick, luckily DK catches him, and then in the end of the game, Isaiah Simmons right there, straight into his hands. And I don't know what's happening to Wilson right now, and I really do think Kyler Murray is going to catch up into the MVP race, and Wilson is losing his lead by the week. And I give them this game is going to be an amazing game, just like the other game was. And I see 27-24, identical to my score for the last game. Kyler Murray leads them again to a game-winning drive because this offense is really, really good. You're seeing D Hop having an amazing season, Kyler Murray taking that year two lead that everyone predicted. He was pretty high on the fan in MVP voting. And I think he gets a dub this game.
This is a tough game for many reasons. One is whoever wins this game wins the division. Um, I just it's that Seahawks defense that really worries me because I don't know. I just don't trust. I could trust the Cardinals defense to beat the Seahawks. They did it. Pick. I've said this for a break. I'm taking Kyler Murray to win this game. I feel like Wilson. I feel like the headline is going to be after this game. Wilson makes costly turnover 2, and he ties Carson Wentz for most interceptions in the league. You'll hear that headline. I'm gonna take the same score as SA. Not gonna say too much on it. 27-24, Arizona. Is on.
Yeah, I think that is an interesting game. Definitely one that I'm gonna watch most definitely because playoff implications, like what E-Man said. Um, man, I just can't trust that Seattle defense, and Russell Wilson just tries to make the hero play every time. It costs their team, and I'm not saying that it's his fault. Sometimes it's his fault because quarterback throwing interceptions, but he can't just carry this team all the time, and I feel really bad for him. I think after that crazy win against the Buffalo Bills, I think Arizona is going to be riding high. This division is gonna still. I think it's still gonna come down to the final week. I don't think it's gonna be settled today. Rams are gonna face the Buccaneers. We're gonna talk about that a little later. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Kyler here. I just think Diop is gonna have a great game against that defense, which is terrible. High scoring game, 34-27. Russell Wilson tries to make a game winning drive and he's unsuccessful.
This is a hard game to pick. Everybody's talking about the Seahawks defense and saying how good the Cardinals offense is, but I'm kind of worried because if you look at the Seattle game and you look at the Buffalo game that just passed, the defense has been able to make plays. They're opportunistic. They get picks, but it's like those turnovers are not translating to points. The Seahawks was down to the final drive. The Bills was down to the final play. A Hail Mary. They got lucky, if I would say. Russell Wilson threw what, 3 picks? Josh Allen threw 2 picks. If you're not capitalizing on those mistakes and putting points on the board when you get those turnovers, it's not gonna work out on the in the long road. But I'm gonna have to go with the Cardinals here because I don't trust Seattle. High scoring game like Faison said, 35-28.
I think you guys are doubting Russell Wilson a lot. I understand the defense is like horrendous. It's not that good this year. But I don't see Wilson losing 2 weeks in a row. I get he threw 3 picks, but it's Russell Wilson. He's gonna bounce back. And them covering up DK, I see Lockett having another big game. He had 200 yards, 3 touchdowns, and they still lost. But I think this time they're gonna execute and just get this dub tonight. I got the Seahawks winning. Everybody picked the Cardinals. So I'm gonna pick the upset. I got the Seahawks winning 34-31. It's 31-31. Wilson drives down and they'll kick a field goal. 34-31. Let's go.
Well, the Cardinals are hot right now. But when you look at the schedule after tonight, you say to yourself, Seattle after this game plays the Eagles, the Giants, the Jets, the Washington football team, the 49ers, and then the Rams. So really, this thing is wide open still. I think Arizona wins tonight because they're hot. They're coming off short rests. Seattle's banged up. Their defense is just not in sync, obviously, at all. It hasn't been all season, but particularly now. You got a banged up Seattle O-line. And the reason why Wilson has struggled is because they're putting everything on him, right? Look back, for example, at Aaron Rodgers, in a couple of the bad seasons that they had before, right there at the end of the McCarthy era. Putting too much on Rodgers. Even now, you see Green Bay putting too much on Aaron Rodgers. When you have a quarterback that you expect to do everything, and the Steelers are having the same problem right now, right? Is that you're putting everything on Ben offensively. So in all these cases, eventually the quarterback is going to be ground to a nub and erode, and the performance will erode accordingly. So in this case, until Seattle gets it back, I can't pick them. I got to take Arizona, and I like them 31-20. I like them big. And I can't believe I'm saying that because this time last year, I was laughing about Cliff Kingsbury as a joke of a coach and Kyler, no chance this guy can play in the NFL, great college player. I was really wrong. At the same time, even if Arizona wins this game, they got a long way to go. They have a much tougher schedule. They play against the Patriots. They also play the Rams twice. So I still think Seattle will win the division after all is said and done, but they will lose tonight.
Big words. We're going to another game, another rematch. I think Osezi and JP know what I'm about to say. We got the AFC divisional round rematch. We got the Tennessee Titans rolling in to play the Baltimore Ravens. It's gonna be a tough game. It's gonna be a really good game. Baltimore is favored by 6, and the over under is 48.5. I say what you think.
I mean, the Ravens are specifically struggling on offense. That you really can't blame the defense for that game. Yeah, that TD throw by Myers was pretty good, but it was very close to being incomplete. It was just an amazing throw, an amazing catch, and that offense is really just it's not as explosive as it was last year. And I don't really think that's going to happen again against the Titans, a team that they really do. I think the Titans can beat them. I think they can, but I don't really think they can beat the Ravens right now because if you watch these games that the Ravens are really struggling against, this offense, which we used to see scoring points at ease, like you'll be watching the Rams game last year. it would just be touchdown after touchdown. This year, they're just having moments where they're just completely unable to continue drives. Lamar's getting absolutely just standing there for 10 seconds, just throw a dump off because he really doesn't really trust his receivers. And he doesn't have amazing receivers, but he wasn't really a receiver oriented team last year. But I really think the Tennessee Titans will come here and I think it'll be a really good game. And I think Lamar Jackson will have a bounce back game. I'll say 30-23 Ravens, and it'll be a good win for Baltimore.
Did that say just pick the Ravens? That's a shocker right there in itself.
I just had to smack my head too. I was going like this.
Um, this is a really tough game because, as you know, with New England, we lost. We didn't have Calais Campbell. We didn't have Brandon Williams, and then Derek Wolf was playing injured throughout the game. And you roll into this, like a couple weeks ago, we were. I don't think we were joking about it, but we were talking big because Pittsburgh had to go through Tennessee and Baltimore. Now we have to do the exact same, but without Calais Campbell, Brandon Williams, Derek Wolf being injured, and I don't think Yonk's 100% in the system yet. And we don't have LJ Fort yet back either. So it's just like, ow, that's kind of that hurts. We're playing really two physical games, and we have it even worse than how Pittsburgh had it earlier. Um, I do think Lamar will bounce back this game. I mean, he didn't have a bad game last week, but the problem is just offensively. I could trust that defense to fix itself because New England first half they were beating us with the run. Second half we came back and fixed it. I could trust my defense. The issue is the offense, and specifically around with Greg Roman's play calling and our receivers, or everyone else except Willie Snead, because Willie Snead's the only one that's really been balling out right now. Mark Andrews is, but he's kind of getting shut down lately because they're showing that that's our only threat. Hollywood, I don't know. I don't know why we keep putting him at wide out. I think he's better in the slot. God dang, Boykin just screwed everything up. But I digress. Baltimore is desperate. They have to win this game because we lose this game, we lose to Pittsburgh. I don't know how the playoffs will shake up because the Raiders and Dolphins are way better than what anybody expected, and they're vying for a playoff. They're vying for playoff spots right now. And two, we got the Cleveland Browns on our back too. The only reason we're ahead is because of that tiebreaker week 1 where we beat them. I think Baltimore's gonna come in this game hungry, and I just think they'll barely win this one. Same score as the Steelers game, I think, against Titans. I think it's gonna come down to a game-winning kick to Goskowski, and he misses again, and that'll be their payback again. Have them winning. Have us winning 27-24.
This is an interesting game. Um, if hey, good. If Calais Campbell and Brandon Williams out, good luck stopping Derrick Henry. Y'all are not gonna win that game. I'm sorry. If y'all can't stop Damian Harris last week, if y'all know who that is, which I'm probably you don't know, then yeah, good luck with Derrick Henry. Y'all caught that L last week. Y'all gonna catch this L this week. I have Tennessee winning 27-14. Your offense is looking bad. It's really looking bad. I'm sorry. It's looking bad. I thought y'all were gonna blow us out last week. I yeah yeah I lack faith in my team. I don't think my team is good, but we won last week. And if Calais and Brandon Williams is out, if y'all run stoppers are out, and Ryan Tannehill, his favorite play is just gonna be a halfback dive. As simple as that. 27-14 Tennessee.
I can see your point, Faison, an essay about how the Ravens offense isn't as explosive as last year, but we have to look at our team compared from now to last year. Lost an all Hall of Fame guard, all pro left tackle, 3 tight end set. Nick Boyle's out. Hayden Hurst is gone. Hollywood never really developed because he was on a broken foot. Miles Boykin didn't get the ball his rookie year, so I don't know how he's expected to make that sort of jump. And if you look at the Steelers and the Ravens, just look at that parallel. No matter what, it's like the Steelers can pick a receiver in any round and they'll perform. But when's the last time the Ravens have developed a receiver and he's turned out? The only one I can remember is like Torrey Smith, and that's about it. Honestly, if we're being honest, and I don't want to knock on the Ravens offense last week because we were literally playing in a hurricane, but like there's a problem and it's obvious. You can see how Kyler Murray, you gave him DeAndre Hopkins, he's going absolutely crazy this year. You gave Josh Allen Stephon Diggs, he's going he had an MVP he had an MVP push first 5 weeks. And Lamar's like the only person without a number one receiver. Like, it's gonna take a toll and it's gonna catch up, and it looks like it caught up with us this year. It's a problem that needs to be fixed, but I don't think we're gonna lose to the Titans because they don't generate as much pressure. They're like bottom 5 in sacks. They have 11 sacks on the season. Their pass defense is horrific. They're bottom 5 in that too. I can't believe Essay said it was gonna be a bounce back game for Lamar because he hates that dude. But I'm gonna go along the lines of Essay. We're gonna struggle a little bit, but pull it together in the second half, like we did against the Colts. 31-17 Ravens.
All I gotta say is we played a very bad game last week. I got no words for coach. Coach needs to stand up. He needs to fix his offense. I don't know what Coach Harbaugh is doing on the sideline. He's a special teams coach, but he's not blind. No one runs a wildcat on 4th and 1. We went for 4th and 1 right after that, and we just ran it up the middle like a normal team. No one runs a wildcat on 4th and 1, and this is why I believe this is what happened with Kaepernick. Greg Roman just right after the Super Bowl, Greg Roman just wanted to make Kaepernick a passing QB, and y'all saw what happened to Colin Kaepernick before all that politics stuff. Y'all saw what happened to him. He just died down,
Great
and that's
point.
why I'm scared that that's the only thing. I don't even care if we don't make the Super Bowl. I just don't want it to change Lamar, and I know Lamar is smart. I just don't want him. I just don't want coach to change him in the fact that hey, you can't always use your legs. You gotta pass. You gotta do this. If you let Lamar loose, like we let him loose in the Colts game, I guarantee you we're not losing that Patriots game. But again, I'm calling this out. If we're gonna lose to the Titans, if Calais Campbell is out, they already announced that Brandon Williams is out for a week. If Calais Campbell is out, I got the Ravens losing 24-14. It's hard to say it, but I got them losing. But if Brandon Williams is in, I got them winning 34-31, a shootout, and Justin Tucker's gonna kick the game-winning field goal. Coach about to step up and just play this game. I'm not even about to be biased.
Okay, but you got to make a pick though, because you just made 2 picks, so you got to make 1 pick. So
Yeah, I was
you can
about
have
to
your
say that.
hypotheticals, but what's your real pick?
Yeah. I got the Ravens winning 34-31.
See, we knew it.
Despite Brandon Williams out and Calais Campbell out. I just can't skip on my team, Mr. Ellis. You know that.
Love it.
I just can't.
I love it.
But
I love it.
I'm just
I
saying,
love
I'm
it,
speaking
JP.
facts that Greg Roman needs to step up, let Lamar loose, give him more play calls. It's literally RPOs. This RPOs or Marquise running a go route. Like he can do so much in the slot if he just put another wide out. Have Snead, Duvernay, and Hollywood on one field. It's over. You can even activate Dez and just put him as a decoy as a wideout. You put Hollywood as slot, it's over. I'm telling you guys, it's over. 6 receptions for 123 yards in the playoff game. Why? Because he was a slot. That was the Hollywood that we drafted from Oklahoma State. That's the Hollywood that people saw in Oklahoma State. And I try to explain that, but you guys are like, he's a bust. Call him a bust. We switch him to slot. He'll go lights out this Sunday. I'm calling it.
I just do that to bust
34-31.
your gut, JP. I just do that to bust your guts, man. You're absolutely right. I mean, put him in the slot, mix it up, right? I mean, if this is what he did in college, then why isn't he doing it now?
Exactly.
Thank
We drafted him as a slot receiver. We didn't draft him as a wide receiver 1 or a wideout. He's not.
And Jake and Dobbins, like another thing, like why
Exactly.
aren't you throwing him lots of screens? Okay, so the one got blown up because Belichick was on it, but yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, man. I mean, I think you're 100% right, man. And I mainly just gave him crap just because it was just a way to just get on you because the Steelers wide receivers are so freaking good. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely.
But at the end of the day, look, you're right, man. Put him in the slot, give him some touches. But here's the problem, JP. Much like what we heard earlier about what's happening with Russell Wilson in Seattle, the same problems happening in Baltimore. We're putting too much on Lamar.
Exactly.
Right? You're basically telling him you have to win the game. If you don't win the game with your legs, you're winning it through the air. You're winning the game. Don't put it in anybody else's hands to win it. And that's just, I'm stunned by that. But maybe I shouldn't be because, like you said, this has been a pattern for Roman in positions that he's been in over the years. And so I think your fear is very well founded. And I think this is a bad get-right game. This is a bad get-right game for the Ravens, man. It's a bad get-right game for the Ravens to have to go against Vrabel and to have to go against Derrick Henry. But one thing that we've seen the last couple of weeks that has not been talked about yet is that all of a sudden Tannehill seems to be going backwards.
Thank you. I never believed in him
from the get-go. Same Miami Dolphins.
That's why I can't pick Tennessee in this game. I mean, I want to pick them because I think they should win. You know, all factors. The Ravens are banged up, man. The Ravens are banged, bruised, and battered. Tennessee should win this game. But Tennessee lost on the road in Cincinnati. Tennessee lost to a Colts team that I still don't think is very good. I mean, if you look at that second half, right, what was the reason why? Their special teams fell apart. Well, the Ravens' special teams is still awesome. That hasn't changed.
Yes.
Right? And that's something that will win them this game, in my opinion. Much like it did for the Colts in Indianapolis. So I'm going to take the Ravens big, 36-14.
That's very big,
Early
Mr.
on,
Ellis.
I think now listen, this is not a courtesy to you.
Yeah.
We're going to see you in a couple more days. So this is by no means a courtesy. In fact, the fact that we've been talking right now with this game 2 coming up next Thursday, is something, that we're being even civil here. But look, man, Tannehill, at the end of the day, when the chips are down, he doesn't have it. And I think this Tennessee defense is bad. They're really bad. They've given up 30 points in like every single game. So if there's ever a get-right game for the Ravens run game, it's this game.
Ground and pound.
Look, our run game is horrendous, and we absolutely torched Tennessee on the ground for the tune of like 173 yards. I don't think we ran for 173 yards combined in 3 games since. So to me, this is a blowout.
173 yards?
I don't know if it was that many. It was over 100, which for us
that's big for you guys.
Which for us
that's
is
very
significant. We have a terrible run game.
Wow.
Anyway, we got to keep it moving, guys.
You're right
I'm sorry
about Dobbins. Like, if we involve him in the screen game, he's so good.
And I felt like, the one time they tried to do that in the first half of the Patriots game, it got blown up, right? You guys remember that? It was like mid-second quarter. It was actually right before the interception, I think. And it got blown up. And then they never went back to it.
I don't know why. I feel like Greg Roman just...
But you go back to the same 4th and 1 run where you push it up the middle or run wide. Yeah. We got to get to the other games, guys. I'm sorry. We got to get to the other games.
Next, we got the game of the week, arguably. We got the Green Bay Packers facing the Indianapolis Colts. I think this will shock SA. I'm about to say this. Indianapolis is actually favored to win this game by 1 over on this 51. SA, what do you think? I want to see what you think.
I mean, I think that has to do with Devontae being injured. Last game, he had a pretty good game. It was TD grab. I know he had like 70, 80 yards. He had really some couple drops and a fumble. Like in that game, he really could have had maybe 150. He had a TD that got called back too. And then we find out he was injured throughout the game. And there's news that he might not be playing. The Colts is a team that I think would be the only team that will be able to beat us for these next couple of weeks. We don't have any competition other than I really cannot say. Maybe the Tennessee maybe, but for the Colts, I really think that if we're able to actually even out the game, what we did last game, which really wasn't a bad offensive game, but games like the Vikings where we're literally just getting decimated on the other side of the football, where we cannot contain no one in the backfield, where we're turning Dalvin Cook into literally, even last week, Robinson was having an amazing game. I know for a fact he averaged over 5 yards a carry. We cannot let that happen to this game, either with Taylor or Himes. If we're able to lock down those running backs and make Phil Rivers pass, we will get at least a turnover from him. It's guaranteed. And I think our offense will be fine because Lazard just got activated yesterday. And I really do think that this game will be a really, really good close game. It looks like a defensive-oriented game within the lower 20s, but I really think that if Devontae plays and if Lazard has a good game, this game really, really won't be close. And I see the Packers winning 33-21.
This is a really close game for a lot of reasons. One, going what SA said with Devontae being injured and possibly being out, that plays a factor. That plays a factor into the Colts game planning. And it's just, I know SA's been harping about this for weeks, but it's like both teams have a problem. The Colts, you can't trust them because of Phillip Rivers. Because you don't know which Phillip Rivers you're going to get. You could either get the Phillip Rivers that was against the Titans, or you can get the Phillip Rivers against the Browns. You don't know which one you can get. But if they had a good, like if they had Andrew Luck right now, I would be Colts. Done deal. I wouldn't say much about it. But it's just which offense will win against which defense. Because the Colts offense at times can be really good, especially since they have the number 2 ranked O-line. And trust me, the Colts will definitely pound the ball with Jonathan Taylor and Nyheim Hines. They'll definitely do it. They'll just take advantage. And then the Packers offense, because sometimes that Colts defense, because I mean, they have Aaron Jones, and we saw the Browns decimated them. So it's hard up in the air there. But if I have to pick one, it's just this is hard. I may have to for this just one fact. I feel like the Colts defense will just get one play over the Packers offense, and if Devontae is not playing, is he gonna play? Most likely, I say.
I really don't know, but they said I really think he will play.
Okay. If okay, off that, I'm taking the Colts to win. Just they just have the better defense and they have the better O line, and I hope they limit Philip Rivers from making dumb throws because he hasn't been doing a lot of dumb plays lately. So I'm taking the Colts to barely squeak one out, barely. 24-21. Sorry, I say.
Um, yeah, I think that Indy definitely has a chance in this game, but I think they can win if Packers don't have Devontae. Just that man Aaron Rodgers left to target him just because like he's their only receiver kind of. Um, but I thought the Packers were gonna blow out the Jaguars. They only won by 4 points. I mean against Jake Luton. Like I don't know. The Packers should have blown them out. I know what's it called? You're gonna win close games against bad teams. You're gonna blow up. I thought they were gonna blow them out, but just like what Emmanuel said, I don't know what Philip Rivers I'm gonna get. I don't know what Colts offense I'm gonna get. So I don't know. I think I am gonna pick Indianapolis just because right now I don't know what Devontae's injury concern is, but I'm not gonna wait for that. I'm just gonna pick Indianapolis in a close one. I feel like Green Bay. I feel like I don't know. Green Bay is probably gonna win, but I'm just gonna pick Indianapolis. I'm gonna say 27-21.
Um, I'm I'm right along with Faison. I was expecting last week to be a blowout, dominant Aaron Rodgers win. I didn't get that, and I think the key to beating the Packers is possessing the ball, taking the ball out of Aaron Rodgers' hands, and the Colts show they can do that. They have a good run game. They have good schemes, drags, curls, that type of stuff. The easy throws for Philip Rivers to make, keeping stuff in the middle of the field, running the clock. I think if they do that, they can win. And especially with Devontae out, that defense is, I'm pretty sure it was top 10, top five. At least when they played us, it was then. I really want to pick the Colts, but I'm conflicted because picking against Aaron Rodgers is it's not easy, but I'm gonna go with the Colts 27-24. Sorry, I say could go either way, honestly.
Man, I would say it would go either way, but when you look at some of the games that Green Bay's put on the board the last couple of weeks, they've been pretty rough. Look at this last game, and I'm going to say the low key problem in that game was, well, obviously special teams was terrible. We saw the one play where you had five guys lined up right next to each other on the kickoff, and so they just went right around into the other side. I mean, that was horrible. That was Steeler-esque special teams right there. I say I'm sorry, but that looked like the Steelers special teams at times. Just like guys that did you guys even think about practicing this week? But the other side of it is that Packers defense is so bad that teams now are just consuming the ball. Look at time of possession. Jacksonville held the ball for a while in that game. It kind of limited Rodgers' possessions a little bit. The Colts really run the ball well, and to me, that's their strategy in this game. Is that if I'm Rivers, I don't throw over 25 times. If I do, I lose. If I throw under 25 and I trust my run game, I win. And I think the Colts win. I just think that as great as Aaron Rodgers is, and particularly if Devontae's not playing, but even if he is, I just feel like the defense of the Packers and special teams, 2 out of 3 of your units are bad and one's really good. You're still just not great. So I'm going to take Colts 27-20.
I'm rooting for the Packers because we need the Colts to lose, Ravens fans. But I got the Packers winning this. I don't think Rivers will beat the Packers. I don't believe so. I don't believe the running game will. I believe Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones will have a great game. I got the Packers winning 28-21, Green Bay.
Sorry, JP. I didn't realize I jumped in front of you there. Sorry, man. We're trying to
Next
mimic
game.
the AFC North standings.
Ha 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 ha! Nice joke. Anyway, we got another rematch of a Week 5 matchup. Correct me if I'm wrong. The Kansas City Chiefs at the Oakland Raiders. Kansas City's favored by 7.5. Over under 56.5. Essay.
I mean, I would just like to apologize to Derek Carr because the last game, he completely proved me wrong. I said this game was going to be incredibly close at halftime, which it was, but it would be Derek Carr who wouldn't be able to keep up with the Chiefs' offense, and it would be just he'll end up making turnovers. He wouldn't be able to match what Kansas City would be producing, and that ended up being the exact opposite of Mahomes not being able to match up with the Raiders offense. And you saw Josh Jacobs have an amazing game in that game. You had Derek Carr playing pretty good, and then Mahomes making he had a pretty good game until the turnover, and that pretty much sealed the game when they were pretty much locked in and couldn't go anywhere. Uh, for this game, this Kansas City offense has not been. It's been pretty good. It's been one of the best in the league. But when you watch games, you really do not fear Mahomes as much as you used to. I say the same thing about Lamar, except that's a little bit more to the extreme end. Mahomes is still right now the number one QB in the NFL. He's still the MVP leader. But I really do think you watch the Patriots game, you watch the Broncos game. There are ways to limit the Kansas City offense, and I really do think Gruden will be able to do that. To sweep the Chiefs would be one really really crazy task for the Raiders, but I do think it's possible. They're so inconsistent. It's like really bad. You have games where you play pretty good like you did against the Chiefs, and you have games where you completely just tear apart like you did against the Bucks. But if they're able to be consistent throughout the whole game, and which I'm hoping they do, I really do think the Raiders could win this game, and I'll say they win 34-27 Raiders. Surprise of the week. That's my surprise. Last week it was Patriots over Ravens. This week it'll be Raiders over.
Yeah, that's not gonna happen. SA just for a couple reasons. One, shockingly, the whole Raiders defense is on the COVID list. I don't know how that's possible. The whole Raiders defense. They're not gonna practice till Saturday, and chances are, if the whole defense is there, I doubt everybody will be ready to play. Somebody's gonna be gone, and kind of suspicious. Ironically, the whole Raiders. But I'm not gonna get into that. Um, this is a must win for Kansas City for a lot of reasons. If they want to keep up with Pittsburgh for that one seed, they have to win this game. They dropped 2 games. Pittsburgh has the easiest path to the one seed. They just at least have to either be because the Steelers only got Baltimore, Buffalo, and Indianapolis. I believe they could beat Buffalo, Indianapolis. You have to hope They have to hope there's an upset there somewhere. But the way the Steelers are looking, they could just run the table and just lock up the one seed by week 13, week 14. And two, they dropped this game. The Raiders are 1 game behind them in the whole playoffs. I just, uh, I just don't think they'll lose this game. I got, it's tough. I got mm, hard. I got the Chiefs winning this. Sorry, John Gruden. You'll make it a heck of a game, but I got the Chiefs winning this 33-31. Actually, no, 38-31 over there.
I have the Kansas City Chiefs. I feel like the Raiders are a really underrated team. I think they can sneak into the playoff race. To be honest with you, they're a really good team, but I don't just like what Emmanuel said, that I don't know what happened with how they all ended up in the COVID list. That's just weird. Um, and I don't see them. I just don't see them beating Mahomes twice. But if it happens, like I said, they're a playoff team. They're really underrated. But I just don't see them. I just don't see it happening. I'm gonna say 34-21.
I don't know if you guys remember, but the week before they played the Chiefs, I forgot what week it was this season. Derek Carr was like, "It's not a rivalry. I'm tired of losing. I'm tired of getting our butts kicked." And then he came out and just bowed out. And then I'm pretty sure a few weeks after they just were flat. That's just a story with the Raiders this season. Like it's like one game they can bring energy, fire, look amazing. Like against the Broncos, 4 picks, ran the 200 yards rushing, and then the next week they can look flat. I don't know what team we're gonna get, but one thing I can do is trust Mahomes. SA does have a point though. Like if you look at the Chiefs offense this year, it's still been making big plays, but it's like it's kind of boxed in. I don't know if I'm the only one that sees that. They almost lost to the Panthers. Christian McCaffrey straight off IR was dominating 31-33. I think it came down to the last drive. And the Panthers are not even they're not even all that. Um, I don't think the Raiders have enough to pull it off. I don't think their defense is practicing this week because of COVID or something like that. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs, 34-27.
I got the Chiefs blowing them out. I feel like I won't say the Raiders got lucky last time because they played a hell of a game, but I think Mahomes just comes out here and says like I'm gonna beat this team like straight up. So I think he's just gonna blow them out. The score will be 28-10. I think they only scored 10 points. Josh Jacobs just gets a touchdown, but I think the Chiefs are gonna light it up.
I picked against the Raiders every time we've picked, and it's one of the reasons I'm in last. Because every time I've picked the Raiders to lose, they've won. But not this time. I got to take the Chiefs. I'm going to take them resoundingly for one reason. Andy Reid, being the great football coach that he is, knows darn well that the Raiders team bus, took a victory lap around Arrowhead Stadium in the Kansas City Chiefs fans parking lot. African, that's sacred ground right there. That's Lamar Hunt. That's the reason the NFL exists. Okay, that thing is called, that Lamar Hunt trophy is what determines the AFC champion. And the Raiders, y'all are like the Bengals back in the days of the early 2000s, like against the Steelers, a team that thought they were going to be the one that overtakes everybody, that had great talent, that had pretty good coaching, but at the end of the day, didn't have the heads to win it. And I think Kansas City is going to blow them out in this game. I got the Chiefs 33. I got wherever they are right now, Raiders 17.
Since time is running short, we have to make this one very quick. Monday night football game, Los Angeles Rams going to Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tampa Bay's here by 4, over under 14.5. That's it.
I mean, this is a primetime game, and the Bucks have not been good on primetime. You can go back to the Bears game where the offense completely stalled, like horrendously. You had Nick Foles playing a horrible game, and then last minute getting the dub. And then you have what was the Giants game where they were barely able to win if it wasn't for Danny Dimes getting some disgusting turnovers, a pick that was inexcusable, and it was a PI at the end, but that's a different story again. And then you have what was it? A couple the Saints game where they get decimated on live TV is prime time, and this Bucks team got destroyed completely. They couldn't even put a point until fourth quarter, I think. And this Rams team was surprised me last week. I did not expect Wilson to have the same amount of turnovers he did this week for that. I say the Rams pull off a very close game, 26-21. Rams.
I'm about to agree with SA on this. Last week, I kind of did expect the Rams to do what they do because the Rams are kind of that weird 6-3 team for me. You don't know which Rams you're gonna get. You can get the Rams team that got beat by the Niners, or you can get the Rams team that just did what they did last week. But I just don't trust Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians to me, like, who is he? Like, he keeps talking to Brady like he's done something in this league. He hasn't done anything. Besides that Super Bowl he got as a coordinator in Pittsburgh, he hasn't done anything as a head coach.
Which wasn't as a result of him either, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's make that clear that Ben was sacked, like 62 times that season. And yeah, anyway.
Yeah. And the one playoff win he has is because somehow the Packers defense let Larry Fitzgerald loose. I don't know how that happened. You're their best receiver, you let him loose. So, and he hasn't done anything special. So, and I think he's gonna unravel this team. The Rams gonna come here and win this. 31-17 Rams.
I'm gonna say
What's everybody laughing about?
Essa's face when Emmanuel said they let Fitzgerald loose. oh god, Essay, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, this is a tough matchup because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are so inconsistent. Whether it's offense, whether it's defense, whether it's anything. And this Rams team is really underrated. Just like what Emmanuel said, I don't know what team I'm going to get. A team that got blown out by Dolphins or a team that got beat by the Seahawks. Actually, either way, I'm just going to say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win this. But if the Rams win this, then I won't be surprised because the Buccaneers offense is inconsistent. I'm gonna say a close one, 28-17.
This is a hard game to call. It looks like Sean McVay's offense is kind of like flat. He ran out of because you remember his first few years he was putting up so much points on the board, and then he kind of got figured out. But the Bucks, they're inconsistent too. So I'm gonna go with the best defense here, and that's the Rams. They played amazing against Russell Wilson, and I had them pulling out a close one, 24-17.
I got the Buccaneers winning this. I feel like Tom Brady, Tony Brown, they all come out and ball out Monday night under the lights. Got the Buccaneers winning 28-21. They'll win by a touchdown.
I got to take the Rams here. You know, Bruce Arians and Emmanuel, you are absolutely on point. And coming from a Steeler fan, you are just speaking just beautiful music to my heart, man, because we couldn't stand Bruce Arians when he was in Pittsburgh. And, you know, I'll say this. He struggles every time. It doesn't matter if it was Cleveland in 2002 when the Steelers, you know, absolutely went after them in the second half down 17. They just blitzed every single time, and Arians' offensive line couldn't handle it. Then, of course, you have Ben being sacked a million times in Pittsburgh with Arians' regime. And then you see Arians go to the Colts and win because they were in a crappy division, and that's the reason why they had a great season that season. They were inspired by Pagano. They were. And then he goes to Arizona, like you said, one garbage playoff win. I mean, this is an L, man. This is an L for Tampa. I think the defense will come through. I do think the problem with the Rams is Jared Goff, though. I mean, that's the reason why McVay's offense doesn't look as good because he's not that good. But at the end of the day, he does a good enough job managing the game. He's kind of like a Tannehill kind of guy, right? I think those guys are pretty similar. Maybe Tannehill has a better arm, but the same kind of role. They'll get through it. This is a win for the Rams, low scoring, 20-17. And Tom, you just got to be so frustrated, man. You just got to be saying to yourself, what did I do? If I had stayed in New England, we would probably be 6-3 right now. And yeah.
Instead, you got Bruce Arians telling you how bad you
Tell you what to do. Yeah. So the 6-time champion, who, by the way, I guarantee you. Well, I know this. When Bruce Arians was a coach of the Steelers, we never beat the Patriots. I'm just going to remind you of that too. So
The man Brady has as many rings as he has playoff wins. Actually, he has more than he has playoff wins. He hasn't done much with his career. He's talking. Okay.
way more.
Okay. I never had belief in the Bucks anyway, but you know, we'll go around quick. We'll give everyone's input. We'll start with SA. What you think for this week and how you think you're gonna pan out.
Well, I think it's just one thing if our run defense improves. If it decides to show up this week, then I think we have a pretty good chance. But I didn't really touch on the Rams much. I really do like the Rams. Like Jared Goff has done better than what I thought he would do this season. The defense is doing much better. Ramsey did really good. And yeah, I really like that defense this week.
JP, how about you?
Out with the dub, you know, Greg Roman got to win this.
Azazi?
Yeah, just let Lamar loose. You can look at Kyler Murray, you can look at Josh Allen, you can look at Patrick Mahomes. To let them do what they want to do, and they're balling out. Don't force Lamar to be one thing, and we're good because Lamar can do. He can carry us, but he also needs some help. But just let Lamar loose. That's all I have to say.
Is on.
Yeah, you know, we got Houston this week. I think that I feel like I have full trust in my guys after last week's win. This Houston team put up 7 points against Baker Mayfield. I think we can take this win here. Mr. Ellis, you have another bye week facing against the Jaguars.
Hey man, you never say that after that Dallas game 2 weeks ago. We made Garrett Gilbert look like I don't know, the second coming of Troy Aikman there. But I will say, including interceptions at the end of key games, like Troy Aikman used to do a lot. But with that said, Steelers big game this week. We're going to have a lot of fans down there in Jacksonville. It's going to be weird, man. They're going to be playing in front of 20 to 25,000 Steeler fans will be in attendance. There'll be 3,000 Jacksonville fans. There's not going to be a letdown in this game. You heard Tomlin talk this week. Tomlin's making this team feel like they're like 0-7 right now or 0-9. Like that's how he's talking right now in that locker room, and I love it. So I think we have a big first half, and then we kind of coast in the second half. And I think, you know, Steelers 27, Yags 17.
Well, be a great week. I hope Baltimore fixes what they got to do because I'm not surprised the offense has been faltering. I kind of said this many times. I don't expect the offense to do as well as they did last year because now everyone has a full year. They've seen everything, and they'll know how to stop it. Same with Mahomes. I already knew once he threw 55 touchdowns his first year, he was not going to touch it again. He may get to it this year, but his second year, he barely got over 30, and he only missed 2 games. He still wasn't going to get over 30. He could have. He was at 28, but it's expected. But now it's just, can they take that next step and develop even more and get ahead? But I don't got too much to say to Baltimore. Just Greg Roman, John Harbaugh, fix what y'all got to do.
Just don't put the whole game on Lamar, man. Just
Mhm.
don't ruin this kid, man. It's just I'm worried that's what they're doing here, and you better wake up offensively. They have some solutions in the locker room, coaching wise.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, I can't
Can't wait
wait.
for next week's conversation, guys. Woo, baby.
Man.
Thanksgiving night.
It's gonna be interesting. But you are right. I mean, as much as I complained about the tough circumstances that the Steelers had to play under when they went to Baltimore, I think now in retrospect, the Ravens situation looks tougher because of the injuries.
Mhm.
And so if Calais is out for this game, does that mean he's out Thursday too? Like, you got to make a choice here. Like, if you play him Sunday in a game I think you could win without him, you pretty much end him for the Steeler game. Likely, because that's a short week to recover from already being on an injury. So, all right, I'm not closing out. Somebody's closing out. So take us out, guys. This is a good one.
JP, close us out.
Dubs, Ravens Nation. Good luck to all the teams out there. Let's get it. Big trust.
Well, we trust everyone out there. We'll have a good weekend. Be safe, everybody. And I'm just so glad and grateful that we're still able to do this. Thanks.